Jared Cook, welcome,
good?
my friend.
Thank you.
Why South Carolina?
The reason I chose South Carolina, I was a receiver coming out of high school, and I was getting pretty heavily recruited, and I knew I wanted to play early. So South Carolina was my biggest choice because Coach Spurrier was coming there, and I knew the numbers that he put up at
Legend.
Florida. Yeah, for sure. And I knew, being a receiver at the time, that I could put up some big numbers under his offense. So that's kind of what attracted me there.
There's one thing to make the decision, but what was the moment you knew you made the right decision?
When I went there on my official visit and I got to see the city of Columbia, the campus. It's one of the only SEC schools that's in the heart of a major city. The capital's there, and it was just a buzz about where South Carolina was going and where they were taking their program.
What's something that you can say as a Gamecock alum that is unique to the South Carolina football experience?
Probably 2001 or Sandstorm when they come out the tunnel.
Yeah.
And pre-game when they playing Sandstorm, the whole crowd going crazy. They got the towels going wild, and then you hear the Gamecock coming over the sound speaker, and it just puts fear in whoever's opposite the sideline from us. We just put fear in their hearts.
And what was that draft day experience like?
Probably one of the best days of my life. As a kid, it's a dream of yours to be drafted or for your name to be called or for you to walk across that stage. For me to be able to represent the University of South Carolina, and not only them, but my high school, my family, my friends, and be able to have a representation of myself in the NFL, a league that I've been watching and been a fan of since I was a kid. It was a dream come true. And still to this day, it's been one of the best blessings of my life.
And what's the change of mindset going from, I'm coming from South Carolina, I just left my mark on a historic college program, and although I'm being paid now, I'm nobody all over again?
It's kind of like the small fish in a big pond, that you transition from elementary school to middle school to high school, all over college again. So it was just kind of that feeling, but a feeling of excitement, knowing that my future is still bright and knowing I'm starting something big and starting something early. The hard work that you have to put in, the relentless grind that you have to have attacking each and every day, that's what I took going to college with me.
Coming out of high school, you were a receiver, like you said, so I'm interested to hear your perspective on the way the tight end position has changed as it goes from the bruiser down there to block every other play to really an essential pass catcher now in today's league.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and the evolution of the tight end is something that's pretty remarkable and something that's kind of happened pretty fast. Like you said, you used to have big bruisers, guys that were 280, sometimes 290. I came in the league when I was playing with Algie Crumpler back in 2009, and he was a big body. And then you got guys that are able to be more versatile, to be able to run routes, run further down the field, be able to open up offenses and stretch the defense and take the top off, get to the second level, guys that are fast, quick, agility-wise. And you're starting to see a lot more guys play both roles, and that being able to transition, from the blocker to the receiving pass threat. So I think it's great. I think guys like Antonio Gates, Gonzalez, the great tight ends that have been before us that have actually made this transition able to happen and happen fast. I think it's incredible, and I think it's great for the game.
And as it continues to grow, there's a tight end right now who just left school, is training for the combine, getting ready for the draft. What's a skill set that he'll have to develop that maybe you didn't need to 11 years ago?
Learn how to do it all. Don't let anybody put you in a box. Don't let nobody label you as a blocker or a pass-catching tight end. Learn how to do it all. That way, your versatility shows, and you're able to highlight that as a part of you, and it's going to be able to pay off for you long run.
Doing anything for 11 years is crazy, let alone taking hits, giving hits as a tight end, out there blocking, out there catching passes as well. What is it that South Carolina did to prepare you for such a lengthy career?
One of the things Coach Spurrier always used to say that kind of helped my mentality and kind of build a strong mind. He said, learn now to start having fun playing football. And by having fun playing football, that entails doing your job. And that's kind of helped me piece together the professionalism as well as how to handle success in this league. And that's, you always got to go out there and do your job no matter what. No matter, at the end of the day, it's all based on whether you got your job done or not. So I learned in turn to learn to have fun being the best that I can do at doing my job, and that's changed my mentality about playing in this league ever since then.
Game day in Columbia is a special thing. How does that compare to game day in New Orleans or some of the other professional stops you've made?
Our stadium is off campus. It's near the fairgrounds or whatnot, so everybody has to arrive at that tailgate or bring themselves to that tailgate. So you see all these RVs for miles, all these cars, all these trucks for miles, and just people camping out the night before, people at the fairgrounds when it's fair time the night before, and it's just an electric buzz. And people that's there, you got the cockabooses going live, people just there to support their team. And it's a pretty special day in Columbia.
When you look at the college game now, I mean, teams are throwing it 60, 70 times a game like nothing. If you were back in college, are you thriving? Are you surviving? What's going on?
Man, I'm surviving. I'm eating good. I'm eating good. Because back when I played, man, especially in the SEC is known for a hard-nosed run football. That's what the SEC has come up on, is run first, pass second. So now that you're having this transition in the SEC where you got high-powered offense, you see the Joe Burrows, the Bubba Franks, and, you know, just different quarterbacks all over the SEC. They're being able to, check at the sideline, check to make sure the car is right, look back, and just air it out,
right,
man. So it's really incredible to see that transition go from a run first or a run heavy conference to now everybody's lining it up and spreading it out.
You brought up some of these young quarterbacks preparing for the draft now. 11 years in the league, you've played with a handful of quarterbacks, have found a way to develop chemistry with all of them. What advice would you give a young quarterback coming into the league now?
That's a good question, because I've had a lot of quarterbacks over my career, and just always stay in their ear, man. You know, every one of your quarterbacks isn't going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, and every one of your quarterbacks isn't going to be everything that you want out of a quarterback. So you have to learn how to work that for you. You have to learn how to stay in his ear. You have to learn him. You have to know what he's thinking. You have to learn how to communicate with him. And those are the biggest things just in general being humans, and that's just to learn how to communicate and learn how to carry on conversations that are beneficial with the people that are around you. So if it was anything, I'd probably try to say, I would say just stay in his ear and make sure you just, learn them the best you can and as fast as you can.
USC has Fight On, Bama has Roll Tide. If you were walking down the street on campus, how do you know somebody is a Gamecock fan?
Go Cox. It's the only place in America where you can say that out loud and it's appropriate.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Go Cox all day.
So like you said, you came out of high school a receiver. You made the transition to tight end. What was that conversation like?
Pretty easy, actually. I was a pretty big receiver coming out of high school. I was probably about 215, and when I reported for school, I got up to about 220. Just kept putting on weight. I was red-shirted, kept putting on weight, and but still able to run. So Coach Spurrier came to me and he was like, "How do you feel about moving to tight end?" And I told him, anything you want me to do to help the team. And I learned and realized that would probably be one of my best decisions, because I run routes like a receiver, but I create matchups on linebackers and safeties, and that puts them in a bind. And that only helps me out and helps further my game. So when I made that decision, I didn't realize how beneficial it would be later on now, but I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah, you kind of just hit on it there, but even though the last time you took a snap as a traditional receiver may have been that red shirt year, do you still find those advantages helping you today?
Absolutely. With every route that I run, every release that I have, high point balls, all the little drills that I've learned throughout my collegiate and high school career, those help me now. And the footwork and everything, to this day, it all helps me. That's why the versatility that my game brings, I'm able to show out there on Sundays.
After that transition from receiver to tight end, I mean, it's basically starting all over. What was the moment you realized I'm a tight end and I'm in the SEC?
Probably blocking the DNs for the first time. Yeah. I was only 225 when I first transitioned, so blocking guys that were probably about 50 and 60 pounds heavier than me, coming off the line and having to deliver a pop or having to hold up for the running back or the quarterback, that took a while. That took a while for me to adjust and adapt to, but it ended up coming along for me pretty fine.
And on the flip side of that, what was the moment you realized, I got this, I'm a tight end in the SEC and I got this?
It was my redshirt sophomore year, and we were going through camp and one of the previous guys, Jonathan Joseph, he had just got drafted, and he went first round, came out, ran like a 4.3, went first round, and I'm like, he was one of our best corners, and I'm like, man, I used to go with these boys next. If he went first round, I know I got a chance.
I got something here,
I'm telling you, I know I got a chance. So that was probably the moment I realized that I could make a career out of this.